Well, I thought today I might upload a few more reflections. Today in London, the new Nightingale Hospital opened after just a week's preparation, which is a remarkable achievement. And read that in Belfast, the tower block of the city hospital is going to become the Nightingale Hospital for Belfast and for the local area for people who need to be treated for COVID-19. And of course, this is a reminder of the surge in cases we're expecting to see in the next few days. And because of that, it's important that everybody does stay indoors as much as possible, that we self-isolate as much as we can. Some people have told they definitely should, but we all should socially distance ourselves and try and stay indoors to help reduce the spread of this virus. But on a positive note, it is heartwarming to see the goodness that can be seen in people, and particularly, of course, we think of health service workers who are out there on the front line, and a lot of people still working very hard to keep society moving as best they can. It's interesting too how much now is being shared online through social media, through YouTube, and through all the different methods of keeping in touch. And it is important to keep in touch, particularly for churches. While we are self-isolating, while we are staying at home, that can be quite taxing. And for us, it's quite good really, because there are 6 of us here, and everyone's working from home, and it's all very busy all the time, which brings its own difficulties. But still, it's not a case of personal isolation, because we're all here in it together, and there's plenty of company. So my heart goes out for people who are on their own, and I'm sure there must be people who are very lonely at this present time, and that's why in particular churches should be doing as much as they can to keep in touch with their members. Of course, you can only go so far with online contact, although you can do a lot, but it only reaches so many, because there are plenty of people who have no access to the internet, and we have to do our best to keep in touch. And at Dunmurry, the church sent out a really excellent leaflet to all the members, sent out by post. And in Downpatrick and Ballee and Clough, we've sent out the church calendar to all those members not on the internet. But we need to keep our personal contact too, whether it's by telephone or just waving where that's possible. We do need to make everyone remember that they're part of our community and cared for. One of the advantages of having an internet connection is you do hear from lots of people, and it's nice to hear from friends from near and far. And it's amazing how in some ways the internet means that people who are literally as far away as it's possible to be in a physical sense can be in closer contact than someone who lives just down the road. But I thought I'd share a few thoughts or readings just for now. One of the big sore points for Liverpool supporters, of course, is that Liverpool were just 2 games away from winning the league for the first time for 30 years, and winning it in some style. And of course, that's all changed now, and we don't know what will happen with the league. And Jurgen Klopp has said in the future, in 10, 20, 30, 40 years, if we look back and the conclusion is that this was the period when the world showed the biggest solidarity, the biggest love, the biggest friendship or whatever, that would be really great. And I'm sure he's right there. Bill Shankly famously said football was not a matter of life and death. It was much more important than that. And of course, he was joking. But I think Jurgen Klopp has struck exactly the right note. And he and all the players have expressed their support and good wishes to NHS staff at the present time. For a friend of mine in Derbyshire, David Burton, who is the secretary of the Belper Unitarian Church there, he sent me a quotation from Ralph Waldo Emerson, which I think also bears repetition. He said, "Stand by one another, reach out to your neighbour, and let your neighbour reach out to you. And don't lose sight of the miracle of life. Listen. Listen to that voice inside. It's all connected, a miracle and a gift." So stand by to one another, reach out to your neighbour, and let your neighbour reach out to you. That's useful advice. And I'll leave us with a couple of lines from Paul's letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 16. "Be watchful, stand firm in your faith. Be courageous, be strong. Let all that you do be done in love." Amen.